Hello, good day. This is the weekly analysis of the Ethereum symbol and Bitcoin as of January 4th, focusing on the price. In the past week, there was a bullish bias and liquidity was collected on the buy side here. It is predicted that the price will continue its upward trend, which could reach 50% of this shadow. We should look for a reaction, and if it closes above this pin bar candle, it could see higher price levels, ultimately reaching this weekly FVG zone. This important level serves as a valuable resistance zone, and if it closes above these areas, we can anticipate higher price levels for Ethereum. If the price action gets rejected from these specific resistance zones, it could very well continue its current downward trend to collect some necessary liquidity down here. And ultimately, once it reaches this significant order block candle area, we can carefully look for a potential buy position in the market. By analyzing the daily time frame, we see that the price has recorded 4 consecutive bullish candles, and currently it has collected buy-side liquidity here, where there is an FVG zone and a bearish order block candle acting as resistance levels and zones. The price could react to these areas and then enter a bearish phase, so it can collect sell-side liquidity from this section. If the price gets rejected from this zone and moves downward, we can look for a buy position within this ATR candle and FVG zone, targeting the swing highs in these areas. On this 4-hour time frame, we can see that the price reacted to the order block zone here but failed to continue the trend. It didn't turn bearish and instead moved upward with bullish momentum, and as predicted, if the price closes higher from this zone, an order block would enter a bullish phase, which we can see here. Finally, it stopped at this 4-hour order block zone, and by checking the RSI, we can see that. In this swing, it entered the high potential zone near the 90 level on the RSI, and eventually had a short-term slide, which indicates the continuation of the bullish trend in the market. However, on the RSI, we see that it has recorded lower highs for us, which is a negative divergence and signals that the market is getting closer to a reversal. This is the part where it could move downward and enter this FBG zone in this section. And ultimately, in this zone or at the broker block located here, we can look for a buy position in the market, provided that it doesn't close below this area. If it does, it can continue toward its nearby low to collect the remaining liquidity in this area. And finally, it may react to this FVG zone or the order block located here. So in these two areas, we can look for a trading strategy for a buy position targeting the swing highs in the upper price levels. On the 1-hour time frame, the price, as predicted, collected the buy-side liquidity here. Ultimately, it reacted to this BPR zone in this area. Currently, this is considered an IFVG zone, and the price entered a short-term correction, collecting the sell-side liquidity here as predicted. If the price closes above this BPR zone, it will enter a bullish phase. It can then target the order block zone. The higher price level, which is currently in a bearish phase within this zone. It is anticipated that it may enter a bearish phase to collect liquidity. It should extend until the liquidity moves toward your sell side. Here, I collect liquidity, and we can look for a buy position in this zone if a shadow forms in the market. On the 30-minute time frame as well, a trading strategy. Here we predicted that if the price breaks out and exits this zone, there would be a manipulation. Its movement to the upside would happen if liquidity is collected on the buy side from this area and it closes within the shadow. We can then look for a sell position in the market targeting the swing low. In this section, as we can see, the price moved as predicted. It has successfully collected the liquidity in this specific price area, and we can now set its target on the recent major swing low. In this spot as well, we can expect the price to drop from this area. And finally, in this order block candle, we can look for a trading opportunity in the market. In the BNB symbol over the past week, we see that the price reacted to this order block zone. And currently, for the past 6 weeks, this bearish candle has been in a consolidation phase. But this week it has shown a bullish bias and has started to collect liquidity towards the buy side. It has absorbed the liquidity from last week, and it is predicted that this week it will continue its bullish trend to collect the buy side liquidity in this area, provided that if it closes above this level with significance, it can continue the trend. It will continue its bullish trend and eventually react to this weekly FVG zone. If we are also looking for a sell position in the market, it should collect the sell side liquidity here and absorb it. On the daily time frame, we can see that the price candles lack momentum and are moving slowly in the trend. It is moving upward and has only collected the buy-side liquidity here. By analyzing the RSI, we see that with the weak momentum the price has, it has entered the overbought zone. It is expected that from this area it will enter a bearish phase. If a candle forms with bullish displacement and closes above these important levels, it could enter a bullish phase to collect the remaining buy-side liquidity. It will gather this part as well, and then ultimately, in this area with a weekly FVG that has been refined on the daily time frame, we should look for a sell position in the market. But if the price starts to drop from this very area and collects the sell side liquidity, we can gather it here. We can look in the FVG area or in a weekly order block refined on the daily for a buy position in the market. On the 4-hour time frame, we see that the price, as expected, has collected the buy-side liquidity. Here, it collected liquidity and finally reacted to this 4-hour order block area. With the correction that happened, it collected the sell-side liquidity here and entered a bullish phase. As predicted, if the price closes above the order block area, the price it could have a short-term pullback and enter a bullish phase, and in the end, we see that liquidity. It collected the buy-side liquidity here, but failed to stabilize above the BPR zone, and currently it has formed another buy-side liquidity here. Let's review the RSI. It has entered a high potential zone, which indicates the continuation of a bullish trend in the market price movement. It could react to this resistance zone with a rejection, or ultimately, if accompanied by bullish momentum, higher price levels such as the order block candle here or the order block zone and the rejection block located here act as obstacles. These can be considered as price targets. On the 1-hour time frame, we also see that the RSI has entered a high potential zone, but currently it is in a bearish phase. This indicates a slowdown in the bullish trend of the market, which could result in a short-term sell-off, and after that, it could enter a bullish phase again to attract buy-side liquidity in the market and move toward higher price levels.